Okay, that last video sucked. The sound quality was awful. I hope that you can hear me better with this one. So, relationship advice on how to vet people before you get into a relationship. First and foremost, your relationship with God should supersede any relationship. And if a person will supersede or interfere or distract your relationship with God, that's a no-go. Do you all have some common ground of godly belief? And this is more so for personal versus professional relationships or business relationships. So, when considering a friend or a potential mate, the first thing you need to recognize is what foundation do they have for their life? What's their hierarchy? My hierarchy, and I'm not saying this is what it should be, but my hierarchy is God, wife, children, work, extended family, friends. And some friends are extended family. Sometimes we have a brother that sticks closer. A friend that sticks closer than a brother. With that being said, you need to have certain similar values. When there are too many disagreements or too many values that are not in accord, then that's going to create conflict. And some conflict is good, but you don't want conflict on, well, I believe in eating a certain way versus I believe in eating, let's put it like this. For me to be with somebody who doesn't eat healthy, that's going to be conflict. I believe in eating to live instead of living to eat. And if you don't eat healthy, then that's going to be, a problem. So I wouldn't pick a mate that didn't eat a certain level of healthiness or what have you. And that's just some preliminary things to think about. What foundations? Of course you want character. Can I trust you? Do you have integrity? Do you do what you say you're going to do? Do we have common interests? Whether it's faith, extracurricular activities, are we open-minded to doing certain activities? Do we believe in taking turns on doing certain activities or whatnot? Because if I'm doing everything you want to do, but you don't do anything that I want to do, then at some point that's going to get tired, frustrated, bored, grounds for conflict or what have you. And these are things to consider. Now, above all that, I'm going to go back to God, because if God tells you to be with somebody and you're giving this person in seed form, you just got to trust God that this seed going to grow up into an oak tree and you're going to appreciate that oak tree. Versus if God telling you, hey, this ain't somebody you should be with, then there's reason for that. Season, reason, lifetime. Some people are around for a season, a reason, or a lifetime, and you have to be prepared to deal with those interim or lifetime people. I recognize how I developed a dear friend named Mac, and this probably is most personal I'm gonna get about it, but he'll beat me up when he see me. Anyway, I met him through his daughter. I was teaching his daughters at school, and we went to the same church, and I was just like so amazed at how well behaved they were and how focused they were. And I had my daughter at the time was, I think, about 4 or 5 years old. So I'm a new father, and I'm like, I want my daughter to behave like this or what have you. And that attracted me to him. So I was working on a parking lot ministry, and that's how we became close. He hired me to do some jobs at his house. I did tile or whatever. And I I did all the bathrooms, laundry room, and kitchen at his home. So we began to fellowship and start working odd and end jobs together outside of our careers at the time. We became very close. It was an iron sharpening iron relationship, a mentor relationship in terms of following God. I wasn't raised up in the church, even though I was raised up with a fear of God, a respect for God, a reverence for God, praying every night with my family, my mom leading or what have you. But I didn't go to church every Sunday, so he became a very fill in the gap type person with things that I wasn't sure about, knew about, or what have you. With all that being said, I truly appreciated the growth and the learning and the common values and the common interests that we had, and even the level of confidence that was built in each other, for we saw that we were consistent and like-minded with our value for, first, our respect for God, and then our value for completing tasks, our work ethic, our level of cleanliness, our eating styles, and things like that. We had a lot on which we had in common and agreed upon. So I'm saying all that to give you an example of how I gained a new friend as an adult who eventually became a spiritual father to me. Also, I recognize even in choosing mates, in my younger age, I didn't know nothing about women. I didn't know nothing. I mean, all I knew was the physical aspect and pay bills or do things for them. I didn't know that they liked to talk. I didn't know the level of intimacy. I didn't know anything. So now that I know a little bit about choosing a mate, first off, I recognize, again, what is your faith walk? What is your level of reverence for God? What is your level of commitment to doing tasks? Like, do you follow through with what you say you're going to do? Because if you don't follow through with your tasks, then you probably won't follow through with tasks that we create, or things that may end up being important to me and may not be important to you or whatever. And everything ain't about me. I'm just happen to be the one that's speaking. But these are things that consider when choosing a person. Are they consistent? Do they have integrity? Can you trust them with your kids? Can you trust them with your heart? Can you trust them? And this is like a gradual process of getting to know. What mistakes in the past have they made that they've grown from? Are they willing to share? Are they transparent? Are they sincere? These are things to consider. What fruit is produced in their life? Are they able to maintain a budget or pay their bills on time? Are they always having financial crises? Are they able to keep a job? Are they able to keep friends? Do they have any friends? What type of relationship do they have with their family? And sometimes members of the family can be your friends or what have you. It's just, are they an island? Are they pretty to themselves all the time? And at the end of the day, you have to figure out what you can deal with and what you like and what you don't like. And if you don't even know yourself, then trying to pick somebody to be around you is difficult, because you don't even know who you are. What's your purpose? How does this person fit in your life with your purpose? I'll tell you, one of the best things you can do to see if you attract the person is write a vision board for what you would like. Share it. Does a person see how they can fit in that area or support you or help you? And that's the key thing. If you have someone who's not willing to help, to serve, or to support you, that's a poor candidate for a mate. a man should have at his foundation of being with his female mate to serve her. A woman at her foundation of being with a man should be able to find some way to help or support him. That's just team. That's working together. That's building something that's gonna last. So I'm saying all this to say, first you need to know who you are before you decide you want to bring somebody else into your circle. Because if you don't value you, you can't value yourself. If you don't love you, you can't love yourself. If you don't have healthy boundaries, you won't respect boundaries of others. One thing I recognize that I don't want to do, I don't want to, and I got this from a queen who shared this with me, and she said, don't go around, and I mean, this come from Pastor Dollar as well, but it was in a recent conversation, and I recognized it was something that I could add and interject into this third revision, and recognize that you don't want to keep making soul ties with other people's wives or husbands. What do I mean? Be careful of the ties you create with people when you know it may not be a long-term relationship. It takes time to get people out of your system. So be mindful of making temporary people more important than they are. Be careful.
You have an incoming call.
Be careful. I'm sorry, I had a call. I don't even know if it's still recording. But anyway, life, it happens, right? Be careful of and it's my spiritual dad too, right? The irony of it all, I guess his ears were burning. And anyway, I know this is so candid and totally unprofessional for a video, but it's life, it happens, right? So anyway, don't allow your heart to be spread so thin by having so many lovers that you can't connect with someone sincerely and transparently because you're so all over the place. Take time to heal, get past relationships, and when you develop a new relationship, have the ability to give your best to that person. And if the agreement is to be exclusive, then be in the position to be exclusive with that person. Don't beat around the bush or set up someone for heartache or heartbreak because you don't want to be honest with that person about where you really are or what you're trying to do or what your goals and objectives are for the relationship. You choose how you treat people, and you train people on how they should treat you based on setting boundaries, honesty, and at the end of it all, the integrity of each of you as you go through the growing process of relating to one another. I'm always an avid of testing people with little things before you go big with somebody. I would not co-sign for somebody if I don't know intimate details about them. I would not lend out more money that I can afford to give away, because people may not be able to pay it if they need it or what have you. So vet people with small stuff to see what their integrity, their character is, and allow that to grow you to a space to understand where you can grow from that point or move on from that point. We're all people. We all have baggage. And at the end of the day, no matter what brokenness, baggage, or shortcomings we have, you have to determine based on your unique makeup whether or not you can deal with this person's issues. Because we all got issues. If the foundation of grace, mercy, truth, and forgiveness cannot be the foundation of your relationship, it's a waste of time. Because at some point, you're going to have to forgive them for something. You're going to have to show some mercy for something. You're going to have to give some grace for something. And you're going to have to speak the truth, hopefully in love, with something. Always leave people with their dignity. Know how to apologize when you did something wrong. Know to apologize when you did something wrong. Know how to accept an apology. Know how to give what you want to receive. In every relationship, it's seed time and harvest time. You're sowing and reaping a harvest from that relationship. Even if you're helping someone develop so that the relationship in the future can be better. Recognize what your values are and what their values are. And can you meet somewhere with more common values than disagreements? We all have more to agree upon than we disagree if we take enough time to have enough conversation to see who we really are. And that's the foundation of relationships. Can we communicate to know who we are? To know whether or not this time we spend together should be extended or ended. So if you can't talk transparently and sincerely, then there's no foundation or basis of having a relationship. But you define what type of relationship you want to have. And we all have free will, and we choose what we want and do what we want to do. So think about where you want to be, who you want to be with, how you want to be there, and let that be the determining factor of how you do what you do in moving forward in relationships. I think I've got it this time. All right. Have a good day.